That's my phone.
Hello and welcome. My name is Robert Lyon. Hope you guys are having a great Wednesday. It is December, man, almost the end of 2023. So it's been a full year and another year of funding, making money, doing real estate. Where we got pretty heavy into day trading now. All kinds of crazy stuff has happened this year, man. But today we want to talk about how to turn debt into dollars and a new way to think about money. And it's just a new way to think about your finances and everything. And it's like debt has it's even a 4-letter word, bro. It's like it's like a curse word for some people. They use it, they make it sound so bad. But on the other hand, if you're smart, if you're sophisticated, not sophisticated, but if you know what you're doing, right, debt can be turned into lots of money. It can be turned into power, right? It's leverage. That's kind of what we're all about, is getting debt and then turning it into leverage. So I guess I'll open it up to you, Gino. What do you think of when you think of, debt to dollars? How do you like think about it, I guess?
Yeah, I got you. I think about it every day. I mean, it's like a lifestyle.
Yeah.
So it's like finding or using debt to create wealth, right? It's like for me personally, I think it's currency, right? It's your currency is what you use. You don't your first thing is, oh, I want to use my dollar to pay for something, but then you have to think, well, why use your dollar when you can use someone else's dollar, or
Yeah.
use leverage your credit cards or whatever.
Yeah.
But when I think about it, it's like, well, whenever first you have to do the work yourself to get stuff done, and when it comes to like working at a job, you going to coming in and doing a specific task and getting paid for it. It's that essentially comes back to you do some work, right? It's a process. You get educated to do the job, then you do the work, and then you get paid for it, right? That's just how it works. Now same thing with debt. You could either go ahead and work and build the debt, or you can actually get the money right away. So at the end of the day, it's like what happens is both of these things come together, and it becomes an amount of money. It's like money at the end of you working, doing labor, and learning some new skill and making money out of it, or just going straight to get the money. So it's like the money is where the debt really comes in. So it's like why would you do that? Why would you take a risk of debt versus working for the money? Well, the reason
Right.
is because you can access the money and leverage the money, use it as collateral to create another source of income versus you having to do all that education, work, and labor to get paid. So
Yeah.
you leverage an asset, you leverage some other business or something else, an entity of that creates wealth, right? It creates income. So the way is you leverage debt doing so. So you have to be able to make enough money to pay off the debt in order to offset your losses, right? And actually make money. So it's a philosophy, I think. It has
I think
philosophical aspects to
I
it.
think it's a time machine, bro.
Yeah,
That's what debt is. It's a time machine. It's like, because like you don't want to get debt and invest it into something that's going to be a piece of shit in 5 years, right? But you
yeah,
do want to get debt if you know it's going to become gold, right? And the gold is out there in the future, but you want it now, right? We are It's America. We want it all right now, right? But you have to be smart about it. But I think debt is a time machine, bro. It's like, instead of working for the next fucking 10 years of your life, why not get the money now,
yeah.
pay it back, and just multiply and quantum leap right forward?
Well, it's a risk, right? You have people take it as,
Yeah,
oh, it's a
the
high
risk.
risk. You're taking high risks. But the thing is, you have to don't think about it as risk, because there's two concepts, and I always argue with people that are philosophical or people that are conservative in this case. When you have to be abundance, right? If you're thinking about conservation and you want to conserve energy, the energy is not destroyed. It just gets placed someone else. Regardless what happens, the money that's going to be made, either you're going to make it or someone else is going to make it. So at the end
Right.
of the day, what you have to do is you have to stop, trying to save money, but start trying to make more money, right? You need
Right.
to start thinking about how to make more money and what else can you do to make more money versus then just let me save, let me try to like create a budget and not actually be able to cover my bills and have some money at the end, so I can take
Yeah.
one vacation my entire life, or like one vacation my entire year, or if you're lucky you get one a couple a year, right? But
Yeah.
essentially your idea is you have to be able to start making that abundance mentality And by applying the concept of leverage, using other people's money, the debt that you're going to get from the bank or a business, and you actually use that money in a good way versus then just waste it away on buying Louis Vuitton, Hermes, and whatever else you want to buy. Right? You go pay, you're paying rent every day. At the end of the day, you might as well use some of that money to make you money. It's like
one of my one of my mentors, he said, I go on vacation 3 times a year. One time because my family wants to, the second time because I want to, and the third time just because I can and not everybody else can.
Yeah,
I thought that was dope.
And that's it's like being able to just get up, let me go on vacation right now and not think about how I'm going to make that money. Well, if you have already put in place systems or assets that are generating income, you don't think about, oh, whether I'm going to go ahead and go on this vacation today. I can spend this $5,000 on my credit card because now I know that my money will pay itself, right? My time will pay itself. So it's like, again, I think it comes back to the philosophy and the time being saved, like overall, like time machine.
Yeah,
it's going from like having no money to having all this money, but knowing what to do with it and being able to capitalize on it is the key, right?
Right.
Anybody can get you the money, but capitalizing on the money and making that money pay you back and also pay off your debt is amazing, right? That's where this is.
That's like the real art. You know what I mean? That's where the game is.
That's what the game is. But it requires a lot of like understanding of whatever you're actually doing, right? So you have to understand how much time it's going to take to get something where it needs to be. How much money is it going to cost? How much debt am I going to get into while I'm growing this machine? And we have to go ahead and you have to think about, well, at the end of the day, what's worth more than you being able to be financially free, right? Nothing. Right? Nothing is worth more than that. So if you start to think about how much is it really costing you to go to work and every day make money and pay your bills and be able to survive versus you being able to spend maybe 3 to 5 years of your life and actually dedicating yourself to one thing that's going to create wealth for you and you generating income and leveraging money versus then having to go work for the money. I think that's where the mentality and the change is going to be. But everybody needs guidance. And that's why I understand, when I first got started, I didn't understand what to do with the money. Then I started to learn how to do that. Then I had a problem where I didn't have the money. So it's like either you have the money or you don't have the money. Wherever you are on the spectrum, you need to know what to do with it, right? A lot of people have a lot of money, but they don't know what to do with it. They're sitting on it in the bank, but they don't know how to invest it correctly. So their money is depreciating. Okay, after 100 years, your money is going to depreciate so much that you're going to be like, your family won't have anything. I don't care how much money you have. If you have money, you got nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, straight up, you got paper. You got a piece of paper that is supposed to be used to purchase something that's of value. And if you're not doing that, then you're not really using money. You're just all you have is paper.
Yeah, it's a tool, man. Like we've talked about before, but the more I think about it, the more it's like, yeah, it is a tool. It's like how you use it, or it's like a paintbrush, right? A paintbrush to one person is a fucking useless little duster, right? To another person, they can make a fucking masterpiece out of it, right? They can do something amazing with it. So it's just a tool. So you need to learn how to use that tool better. Where you invest $1, you get $5 back or whatever you can do, right? And it's hard, and it's like everything is getting more expensive. Everything is getting this and that. But I guess the one message I wanted to say for Debt for Dollars is, so there's a lot of truth to, being very safe and not taking a lot of risk, right? I mean, I don't think I would be alive if all of my grandparents were like fucking out there killing saber-tooth tigers and going to war doing all the crazy, sketchy stuff. But at the same point, America has been bred to be very, very like pussified, right? Grow some balls. Like, you got to take some risk at some point in your life, right? Like, it's just a fact, right? If you're too scared to get the debt, then you're just going to remain where you are forever, right? If you're not scared, you have to take a chance, and you almost always have to invest in yourself, bet on yourself, and just grow a pair of fucking balls, get the money, and learn from the experience. Now, nobody wants to be up to their fucking head or way over their head in debt. But at the same time, in America, you're not going to go to jail for debt anymore. You might file bankruptcy. Your family, your wife might leave you because you're so broke, right? But at the end of the day, you're still going to live if you screw up with the debt, right? So you always have to weigh the risk and the reward. The reward is you get a ton of debt. You have all these properties. You basically get to refinance. You never have to worry about money again. The risk, you lose everything, and you're right back probably where you started, right? So I think the debt to dollars philosophy and the way to think about it is like, take a fucking risk on yourself, but have a good plan in place so that you know what you need to do, and then also use the tool of the debt as best as you possibly can and become a master of using debt to make more money, right? That's kind of what I think, at least. And I think that's pretty cool.
That's exactly what it is being able to master the use of debt as currency. So as we all know, like, debt is a currency, and if you don't know that already, then you should definitely educate yourself and read the book like Rich Man Poor Dad, for example, right? It goes into it. We have had many books. Many people have come out and you explain to the general public how they became wealthy. Trump and all these other guys, like they all use debt, right? They've used debt, and they've used debt in a very clever way and be able to use that over and over again. Reuse debt and recycle debt, and leverage, and essentially, if you're not playing that game where you're leveraging debt and you're growing as a business owner, as a person, as a human being on this planet, you're not gaining any wealth. Okay, you're not gaining any wealth, and that means you are not providing. You're doing a disservice to yourself and your family, because what's going on is you're gonna get further. As generations progress, you're gonna get further and further in debt, and the money that your family has, that money isn't gonna last long. Okay. There's nothing that's going to keep money from growing unless you actually put it to work. And that's the main thing. So the money has to move, it has to work for you, and it has to provide income, more money. It has to multiply. Crazy. So it has to be put into work, it has to be used as a tool, and then it has to produce more money. And in order for you to grow and buy more assets that produce more money. So that's why the rich get richer, because they're constantly using debt and growing and getting more and more debt, and they become richer because of it. Versus you constantly work and go to work and try to make that money with time and space, and then at the end of the day, you come back with a paycheck and a salary, and then you think, okay, well, how am I going to use this money? Well, you got to use it. Don't just sit on it. If you have a cushy job, you need to change your situation. You need to start like changing your ideas, your panic mode, right? Start like realizing, hey, if you're comfortable, you need to become uncomfortable. And that's what it means. Every time you're comfortable, something is wrong. I start to worry, right. I start to worry when I have too much money in the bank and I'm too comfortable. And that's like, wait, this is not right. So I got to become uncomfortable. So essentially, and that's how you grow as a human being. You continuously grow. You have to continuously being challenged. If you're not being challenged, you're not growing, right? Yeah. So, and I think that's what the message is as well, is that, dollars is a process of becoming, besides becoming rich, making money. Everybody wants that. But think about the generational wealth, and also the fact that you're doing this not for yourself, but your family, everybody around you that's going to benefit from it. Because a lot of people benefit when you start to do well. Everybody else around you starts to benefit. Everybody else around you starts to live a better life. So start thinking about that, and then how you can apply that to your life, and use debt to make you rich, but also use debt to provide, wealth. Wealth is what it means. Richness is good. Having money and making more money is great. Multiplying your money is great, but you need to create wealth, and that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, man, I'm having a cool idea. So it's like, I'm always talking about systems. We even met at Scaling with Systems or whatever. So it's like, first you make your money making system, right? Then you join Credit Leverage X, and we're going to help you create this debt making system, right? And the debt making system is kind of what I want to talk about, Gino, because it's kind of like the infinite mastermind. It's kind of like everything, but it's like, how can I get into more debt? How can I get more and more and more debt, right? You can create a system or a machine that just gets you more and more debt, right? With real estate, with cars, like you always do, businesses, loans, credit cards.
Any other entities that I can use? I mean, literally, like if I have a piece of paper and I can put a debt against that piece of paper, and I can go and take a loan against it, I would take that piece of paper, I would put debt against it, I'll take a loan against it versus me having cash. The moment I have cash in my wallet, or I have cash, I'm like, here, take my money, right? Because I want to get rid of it. Okay. And it needs to either give me a nice shirt, give me a nice hat, give me a nice car, give me a house, give me a business, whatever it's going to go into, it's going to make me money, or it's going to make me look good, and I might make more money because of it. Whatever it is. At the end of the day, marketing is dollars, and at the end of the day, where attention is where the money is at. So if you want to make money, you have to start to learn to use debt to drive those multipliers. But you have to be able to start with having access to the money, getting your credit fixed, getting access to the money, and then joining Credit Leverage X and start to understand how you can multiply that money and alert debt as an income versus when using income as your only way to get access to money. You have to be able to use debt. And then what I want to touch on, Robert, is being able to create multiple ways to take on more debt is what credit leverage is about. But mainly the masterminds is what we do is that we teach you how to get into more and more in debt. And then that way you're able to grow your overall empire, and it's just going to generate more and more money. And it becomes this massive machine that now you're just like looking for more ways to get into debt. Now I'm like, man, I want to get into more debt, because at the end of the day, either you have to go to the debt cycle and go into debt, or you have to go into the saving cycle, which takes you way longer to get to $1 million versus if you go into debt.
Yeah. But it's like you definitely have to have the income first. But then once you have the money making system, now it's time to make your debt making system. And the way that you make a debt making system is, first of all, you join Credit Leverage X, or you figure this shit out on your own, which I don't recommend. But you basically do one big funding round, right? That's what we're all about. You get that first funding round, that 100K, 200K, whatever it is that's going to change your life. And then you use that money. And you have to basically start to master the tool of debt, right? And you multiply it, you pay back the banks, and then probably 3 months, 6 months, a year down the road or whatever. Like credit it's a slow game, man. Like everybody else like tries to make it sound like it's like, oh, instant money, but it's a slow game. It's a long-term play. It's not something that's just going to change your life immediately. It's going to change your life for years and years and years down the road, though. It has a huge effect. But anyway, so you get the money from the banks for that first round, and you have to make that relationship really solid with the banks, right? And I mean, the way that I think is like you borrow a lot of it, and then you pay it all back, and you give the banks a little bit of profit. Like that's how they like a little bit of money. They like a little bit of interest, whatever it is that they need to do. You don't want to get any late payments. You want to just keep that relationship squeaky clean, right? And then you keep showing more and more and more money coming in, and you keep asking for more and more debt, right? And this starts your debt machine. And eventually you're gonna have good enough credit, you're gonna have enough money that you buy a house, right? You buy a business, you buy something else that's gonna have another money machine. And then you just keep using debt to buy these money systems that are gonna keep making you more and more money, and you keep going more and more and more in debt. And eventually something might break, but you'll be so far above the rest of the population or the rest of the other people that the banks will just keep giving you money because you're too big to fail at that point, right? Yeah, that's kind of the goal.
There's something that I did exactly what you're talking about, and what I wanted to say was there's a moment of like, I'm either gonna crash, or I'm just gonna like live or I'm gonna die on this. Like this is like live or die.
Yeah.
You get to a point where like even though you have money, even though you have everything else, like you get to a point where like if you take on more debt, it's scary. People get scared of debt. Like you don't want to owe money, right? Like it's not a good thing. But the thing is that when you actually use debt in the correct way, and you're not afraid of what it's going to produce, then you start to crack the code on using debt as currency. You start to become a master of currency and using currency as a debt facilitator, and creating more debt and more opportunities for tax-free money. I'm talking about when I talk about debt, it's tax-free money. Okay, this is not money that you earned, that you pay income taxes on, that you have to get like you became a slave, right, to do this. This is money that's that's taxless. So why that's the case? Well, it's because the banks make money off you through interest. And if they don't have any way to give you debt, they're not going to make any money. So guess what? It's in their best interest to give you the money, and it's in their best interest that you take on more debt because they can make on more money. But your job is to be able to use that as a way to make more money. Your job is to facilitate them and go make money for the banks. Because at the end of the day, when you pay them back, they're happy, you're happy, you all have everybody's a win-win situation. But if you're out there trying to work for the banks, or you're trying to get a job and make money in a regular 9-to-5 job, you're basically working to make money, and then you go off and use your money as like an expense mechanism and you have to pay taxes on that money. It's way better to take on debt. It's taxless. It has no negative implications, and it provides opportunities that you would not have if you were just to work for it to save 30, 40, 50K, right? So
Right.
I guess that I want to touch on that, and then after that, I have one more thing I want to talk about is the philosophy of it, right?
Yeah.
And the philosophy.
I think you nailed it. I mean, I think if you're using debt to buy groceries and dinner, that's fucked up. You need to use the tool properly. You need to use the tool of debt to invest it wisely. That's going to turn your debt into $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, right? It's a multiplier. You have to multiply the debt. You can't just dig a hole with the debt, right? Those are the two things. So it's not even debt to dollars, dude. It's just like the mindset of people. It's like you're either going down or you're trying to go up, right? And you need as much rocket fuel as you can to go up.
You gotta go deep down before you come up. Okay,
and so maybe it's a rocket that takes you down.
I'm on a rocket ship.
Submarine.
So what's happening is that you it's like that. You want to fly down as fast as possible. Get into debt as fast as possible. People are gonna think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you, I'm gonna stand up one day and I'm gonna say in front of everybody, "Hey, I want you to get in debt as fast as possible," right? Because at the end of the day, the faster you get into debt, the faster you become free. Okay, that's what it works. Yeah. That's how it works. But you have to have the right mentors, the right people to make sure you don't mess it up. Right. You don't make a mistake. You don't put the money where it shouldn't go. You start investing in stupid things like these unknown cryptos or whatever else you're doing. You got to put your money into things.
Leave my unknown cryptos alone.
Assets that have actual physical entities like a car, like a house, like something that you can actually touch and feel, and you can actually go out and rent and take back home and bring it back home and say, hey, this is my car, I'm renting this, I'm making money off it. This is my house, I'm making money off this. And on top of that, a business, like an actual business like we have, you can actually you can touch it, you can feel it, you know that it's there, you know that if you continue and if you keep putting work into it, it's going to generate income. And that's what we know what credit leverage is about. We want to show you the different opportunities of being able to make money either on your own or with us, right? And then you can do it in many ways, but you have to be able to get into debt. And that's where we're gonna help you. We're gonna help you get into good debt. And that way, when you get the money, you can start investing in the opportunities that we have in our community or anything else that you want to do. As long as you either consult with us, we don't want you to waste the money and throw it away. Let us know what you're gonna do. And we will definitely support you in any way you desire. But at the end of the day, we don't want you to fail. So a lot of people that may have done this, if you do this once and you screw up, you're going to be stuck in a situation where you're going to be behind on debt for years. You're going to be in a situation where you're not going to be able to pay that off, and you're going to have to file either for bankruptcy or you're going to have to file for settlement. And that's something that any entrepreneur that has gone into any form of debt or has become a millionaire has always gone into either had one bankruptcy or had some kind of problem in their career where they didn't have any money. They basically they came down with no money and they had to come out of it, or they were in a situation when they owed a lot of money but they couldn't pay for it. So what happens is you have to start to understand that's not a problem. It happens. Okay, you cannot. You cannot foresee everything. Whatever is going to happen is going to happen, but you need to take the opportunity, and you're going to be able to get right back on, just like I have. I've gone through highs and I've gone through lows, and I'm coming back up. So at the end of the day, like we're here, and we have to be able to continuously grow and understand that this is a risk. But at the end of the day, the risk is worth it. It's worth it versus then you just having to go to work and get a paycheck every day and never do anything with your life. Okay, so and that's what it comes down to. So I think it's most important is find opportunities. If you don't have a mentor already, if you don't have anybody else that's teaching you how to invest, Credit Leverage X will teach you, will get you the money, and will teach you how to invest in ways that you may have never thought of, or give you opportunities to get into that you may not have done before.
Yeah. What was the philosophy things you wanted to talk about?
I want to just real quick touch on, it's a disservice for yourself, okay, and for your, for families and generations to go in the future. It's like our consciousness is at a state where we need to rise up, okay, like we need to become free, right, financially free. We don't need to be financially restricted anymore. We need to be financially free. Things should not be, limited. Everything's abundant. Everything's available. There's a lot of money in the world, and we all have it. Us humans have the money. So what do? We create a system where everybody benefits, right? So what I'm trying to get to is, money. Money and lack of money is basically the root of all evil, and that's Mark Twain. So if you're not out there, you don't have money, and you're not able to do anything about it. you're not able to work towards it and try to grow wealth, then you're doing it, you're doing something that's not the best interest of the whole world's consciousness where it's at. You're actually destroying it. Okay, essentially, you're not growing as a person. If you individually, you need to grow as a person. Besides the money, money is just a tool. It's a motivator. It's something to do to keep you going, right? But if you and you should be able to create. You have to be able to create. If you're not creating every day, if you're not creating a piece of art, if you're not creating new business, you're not creating a new book. You need to continuously create and using money as a tool to do so. Okay, that's what it comes down to. So if you are not in that state of mind where you're creating, then you're basically falling behind, and the whole world is basically waiting on you. So you need to start changing yourself, start growing with everybody else, and that way everybody can just grow together, and everybody's going to benefit. I'm telling you, at the end of the day, you have to be able to take action, and if you don't take action, you're just going to fall behind, and your entire generation will never exist, like as if they never happened. Okay, but those people that are actually going to make a difference in their life are the ones that we know about, that you know about, are those people actually taking action, and they're taking risks to help the consciousness of the world grow. We're all growing, so let's grow together. That's what the philosophical thought. Don't not strive for money thinking it's evil. No, not having money is evil. Okay, people that don't have money, the broke, the homelessness, the reason it's evil is because they have no money, and what it's doing to them, it's evil. It's doing that to them. Okay, it's not that anybody else is doing it. It's money, and money is what they're not going after. That's why they're in the situation they're in. You have to go after money in order to be in a place where you don't have evil. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So, and that's pretty much the philosophical mindset. It's a consciousness. It's a state of mind, and we have to change your mindset, and you have to be able to start accessing the money as a tool to start creating, right? You're a human. You have consciousness. You have to create. That's what you're here for. If you're not creating, you wasted your opportunity.
Yeah,
that's it. That's what it comes down to. And that's straight philosophy for you.
I like that, and I think it's a good reminder. Money is abundant, and you gotta spend some of your time focused on it for sure. Otherwise, you're not gonna have any. And it's just like it is evil, right? But
it's evil when there's none. When you're not going after it and you're not making it, you're not putting the work in, right? You're not gonna.
Yeah, you're not adding value.
Exactly.
You're not getting shit done. You're not
adding
creating
value
something.
To society. You're not adding value to yourself. You're not adding value to your consciousness. You're not adding value to the world. You're not adding value to your family. You're not adding value to anybody else around you. You're literally a waste of life. Okay, and that's what it is. And I hate to say it, but this is what it is. Sometimes they have to be blunt, right? You have to tell them, hey, look, get your life together. Start acting like you care about yourself and the people around you, and then things might change. Things might go in a positive direction. And guess what? We're here to help you. We're not here to coach you as a life coach, but we're here for like a wealth coach. We want to get you the money, and then the money will help you get back on your feet. Okay? Yeah. The money will help you start changing your life and start accessing new opportunities and start helping people around you versus you being the one that needs help. Stop being always the victim, right? Stop being the victim. Start being the person that's actually taking action and is a successor. You want to be the successor, not the victim.
Yeah, you want to add value. I mean, most people are consumers or do nothings, right? They do nothing. Some people are okay with that, right? Then let them be nothing. But if you really want to have impact, if you want to change your life, you got to take action. You got to add value, and you got to create systems not only for yourself, but create systems that are going to help other people. Which is why we created Credit Lever Decks. You know what I mean?
So I love it. This is fire.
That was fire, man. I don't think I have too much else, man.
I got a lot of philosophy of debt and dollars, and that's what it is. Money is a tool, but it's also a philosophy. Use it wisely, and want to help yourself, and not only help yourself, help others. Because at the end of the day, if you're not helping yourself, if you're broke, you're actually doing a disservice to humanity.
Yeah. I mean, even if you're broke, you can, I remember I've been broke. I've been, homeless. I've had all the things happen to me. And it's just like, you can even at least be cleaning. You can be sweeping. You can be helping other people move their shit. You can basically be adding value regardless, right? You don't need someone to tell you what to do. You can take action upon yourself and you can make a difference, right?
Exactly.
Small shovels one at a time can move mountains. You know what I mean?
I love that. That's exactly, Robert. That's exactly what my message is, do whatever it is, do it, do it. Like if you do work, that's why I respect everybody that does, my cleaning lady, my gardener, my, anybody that's working for me that does anything at all. Like I respect them because they're actually getting up every morning and putting in work, regardless of what the reason is, they're actually doing the work. So, and that's what matters, you do the work and you will see results. That's it. And at the same time, work towards your goals,
Yeah. The only other thing I would add to that is like our consciousness is infinite, right? We can grow infinitely. Yeah, people are doing jack shit, which means you could literally learn everything there is to know, and your brain wouldn't get any bigger. You would just have it all, and you would become that much of a better of a person. But most people aren't even tapping that at all. They're not trying to learn anything. They're not trying to do anything new because it's hard. They want to stay where they're at, and they can stay stuck. But if you want to be happy, if you want to truly get ahead in life, you got to go out there and you got to like at least try shit. You got to learn shit. You got to basically, push the wheel, otherwise you're just basically going to get grind to a pulp. Right. And there's nothing for you going the other way.
Yeah. You got to change. This is you have this much time, your time is limited here. You're not going to be here forever. This video will be played maybe 100 years from now, and be like, man, this must be really valuable. People should have listened. But people don't want to listen, and that's fine. I'm not here to change everybody's life. I'm here to change the few that want to change their life. And those people that we do, and there's a lot of gurus out there that want to help you, and I'm sure they have the same consciousness that we do. We want to grow, we want to expand, and that's why we're here. So we want to be we want to be part of that same wave, and we're helping everybody else to do that as well.
Yep. All right, everybody. That's the day's call. I think that was awesome. Hope you guys got a lot of value. We're doing a lot of stuff with funding as always. We're really dipping into getting ready for real estate to just take over and own everything. And then we're also doing a lot of day trading and a lot of other interesting things. Definitely check out Credit Leverage X. Like, subscribe, send us a message, drop a comment. Let us know if you need anything. Until next time, peace. See you at the top.